bedposts they softly tease. Time folds the stories we echoes rise, they call us near. Through shadowed past, the path is clear. Legend tales the heart can hear. A world reborn in every tear.
Alex stormed into the house with an energy that filled the entire space. His eyes gleamed with excitement as he scooped Yina off the couch, spinning her around. She shrieked with laughter, clinging to him as her heart pounded from the sudden thrill. "Alex, what's going on?" she asked, breathless. He set her down gently, but didn't let go of her arms. His voice was thick with exhilaration as he said, "I just found out from a reliable source that Sujin is dead." Yina's laughter froze. Her body stiffened, her wide eyes locking onto his. "What?" "Lee Junpyo killed her." Yina gasped, stepping back. Her hands trembled as she covered her mouth. "That mafia boss," she whispered. "Is he really that ruthless?" Alex nodded. His expression darkened, his excitement shifting into something more serious. "You don't understand, Yina. Junpyo didn't just kill Sujin, he wiped out an entire casino. And that place, it was practically owned by Kang Mujin." Yina swallowed hard. "Wait, you think Junpyo killed Kang Mujin too?" Alex ran a hand through his hair, packing the floor. "I don't know for sure, but if Kang Mujin was in that casino and Junpyo went on a killing spree, then yeah. Kang Mujin is either dead or in Junpyo's hands. And Zara." Yina's breath caught. Zara was with Kang Mujin. Alex nodded. "Which means if Junpyo got to them both, Zara is dead too." Silence filled the room. The weight of those words settled in like a heavy storm. Then suddenly, Yina burst out laughing. She clapped her hands and twirled in place, pure relief washing over her. "Oh my God, Alex, do you know what this means?" Alex smirked. "It means you've been worrying for nothing." "Exactly." She wrapped her arms around his neck, pressing a kiss to his lips. "Sujin was the only one who could have exposed us, Alex. I was so scared. But now she's gone. And Zara," Yina laughed again. "She's gone too." Alex grinned, enjoying the lightness in her mood. "And that's why I have a surprise for you." Yina's eyes lit up. "What is it?" Reaching into his pocket, he pulled out 2 plane tickets and held them up with a victorious smile. Her jaw dropped. "No way." "Yes way." She snatched the tickets from his hand, scanning them quickly. Her lips trembled as she read the destination. "Busan, Sejong." "Busan," she whispered. Alex cupped her face, his thumbs tracing soft circles on her cheeks. "We're finally going on our honeymoon, baby. The city of love and romance, just like you always wanted." Tears welled in her eyes. "Alex, no more fear. We're free, Yina. We can finally live our lives the way we deserve." She let out a shaky breath, hugging him tightly. But as soon as she pulled away, her mind raced to another thought. "Wait, I need to call my mother. I have to make sure she leaves the country too, if anything." Alex shook his head. "No need." Yina frowned. "What do you mean?" He sighed, running his hands down her arms. "Think about it. Your mother already divorced Zara's father. The man is practically a corpse in a hospital bed. She took everything from him, his house, his money, all his properties. She moved into a new apartment and cut ties completely. What reason does she have to run?" Yina bit her lip. "But if he wakes up?" "He won't." Alex's voice was firm. "The chances of him coming out of that coma are almost 0. And even if by some miracle he does, what would he wake up for? His daughter is dead. His ex-wife stole everything from him. His life is already over." Yina exhaled slowly, processing his words. Alex tilted her chin up, his eyes locking onto hers. "We don't have to run anymore, Yina. We can enjoy our lives. No more looking over our shoulders, and your mom can live peacefully too." A slow smile spread across her lips. She grabbed his hands, squeezing them tight. "Then let's go, Alex. Let's leave everything behind and start fresh." He grinned. "That's my girl." Park Sujin's feet ached from packing, but she couldn't stop. The air in the small room felt suffocating, and her thoughts were running in circles. She hadn't slept. How could she? Zara was out there, possibly hurt, possibly worse, and she had no way of knowing if she was even alive. A knock on the door startled her. She spun around as a man entered, carrying a tray of food. He placed it on the small table in the corner, his expression unreadable. "Is Zara okay?" she asked, desperation creeping into her voice. The man didn't answer. Instead, he turned on his heel, stepped out, and locked the door behind him. Park Soo-jun's stomach churned. She turned to the food, warm bread, eggs, and a cup of coffee. Her stomach begged her to eat, but she couldn't. How could she, when she didn't even know if Zara was getting the same luxury? Her fingers curled into fists. I can't sit here and do nothing. I have to find a way out. I have to see Zara. She exhaled shakily and resumed packing, her mind racing for a plan. Meanwhile, Zara sat on Junpyo's bed, her fingers tightly clasped together. She wanted to see Soo-jun. More than anything, she wanted to make sure she was safe, but she couldn't afford to slip now. If Junpyo suspected she was pretending, all her efforts would be wasted. She had to be careful. She had to play her role. The door swung open, and Junpyo walked in, his presence dominating the room. His sharp eyes locked onto her, and before he could speak, Zara dropped to her knees. Junpyo frowned. What are you doing? She kept her head bowed. I am your slave, and you are my master. His expression darkened as he grabbed her arms, pulling her up with a force that sent her stumbling onto the bed. Enough of this nonsense, he snapped. I don't want you calling yourself my slave. She blinked at him, feigning confusion. Then, what do you want me to be? His jaw clenched. I want to grant you your freedom. Zara's heart stopped. She stared at him, unable to comprehend his words. What? She whispered. Junpyo's face was unreadable. I'm letting you go. Her breath caught in her throat. You're joking, right? I don't joke. His voice was firm. Kang Mujin will pay for his crimes, but you don't have to. You're free, Zara. Zara sat still, her mind racing. She had begged Junpyo countless times before, pleaded with him to let her go. Yet every time he refused, so why now? She raised her head, meeting his gaze. Why the sudden change of heart? Junpyo's fingers curled into a tight fist. His jaw clenched, but he kept his voice steady. Why are you questioning me? Because it didn't make sense, that's why. Zara stayed quiet, watching him. Junpyo exhaled and turned his back to her. Anger swirled in his chest, not at her, but at himself. If only she knew how hard it was for him to send her away. Still, she pressed. I just want to know why, Junpyo, you were so sure before. What changed? He turned around slowly and walked toward his chair, sinking into it. His eyes locked onto hers. I have a rule, he said finally. A life for a life. You've probably heard it before, he went on. Since you were willing to give your life for mine, I can't let anything happen to you. That's why I'm setting you free. A strange, heavy silence filled the room. Zara felt her chest tighten. So that was it. Because she had risked her life for his, he now felt bound to protect her. And that's not all, Junpyo continued. No one from my gang will ever lay a hand on you again. I'll make sure of it. Zara nodded slowly, as if considering his words. Then she lifted her chin. And Soo-jun. His expression shifted instantly, cold, unforgiving. Can we leave together? She asked. Junpyo's body went rigid. A slow exhale left his lips, controlled but firm. Then he stood up. No, he said, that's not possible. Zara clenched her fists beneath the table. She had expected this, but that didn't make it any easier to hear. Junpyo ran a hand through his hair, his patience thinning. Soo-jun is a cop, he said sharply, and she dared to shoot at me. His voice dropped into a dangerous whisper. By my laws, she should bleed for that. Zara's stomach twisted, but she kept her expression neutral. I can't make her pay the way I wanted to. He shot her a pointed look. Because of you. But that doesn't mean she gets to walk away, Junpyo finished. She's still my prisoner, and she will be for a little longer. Zara tightened her grip on her dress, anger simmering beneath her skin. Junpyo gave a short, humorless laugh. Besides, no one is looking for her outside. To the world outside, she's already dead. A suffocating silence followed. Zara inhaled deeply and forced a small, bitter smile. I thought so too, she murmured. She rose to her feet, her heart pounding like a war drum. She turned to face Junpyo, her eyes burning with determination. You said a life for a life, she said, her voice steady. Do you always follow that rule? Junpyo met her gaze, his face unreadable. Yes. A small, knowing smile touched her lips. Then let Soo-jun leave in my place. His expression hardened instantly. No, that's not the decision I made. But I'm trading myself for her, Zara pressed. Everything Soo-jun did, every bullet she fired, every risk she took, it was all because of me. She was protecting me. So if anyone deserves punishment, it's me. I'm the one who made you bleed, not her. Junpyo clenched his jaw, but he didn't speak. What's the point of me leaving? she continued, her voice rising with emotion. I have nothing out there, no family, no one waiting for me, and even if I leave, I'll never be free of you. I'll think about you every single day, about this place, about us. Junpyo's fingers twitched at his side. He hated how her words gripped him, how they seeped into the cracks of his soul. My life will never be the same, Zara whispered, and for the first time, this is what I want. She took a shaky breath. I want to stay. Junpyo's body tensed. He turned away from her, running a hand through his hair. Do you even know what you're asking for? She stepped closer, refusing to back down. If you give up this chance, you won't get another, he warned. Once you cross this line, there's no turning back. I know, she said firmly. His voice dropped lower. My world is dangerous, Zara. You won't survive. She stepped in front of him, forcing him to look at her. Then equip me, teach me. Junpyo let out a dry, humorless laugh. I've trained someone before, Sua, and she betrayed me. Her hands clenched into fists. I would never betray you. Then she took a deep breath and said the words that shattered the last bit of his control. If I ever did, I wouldn't wait for you to kill me. I'd take my own life first. Junpyo's gaze snapped to hers, his eyes dark and unreadable. Why? He demanded. Why are you doing this? Why throw away your freedom? If it's money, I'll give you enough to start over. So why are you choosing this life? Her lips trembled slightly, but she held her ground. Because I've fallen in love with you. The words hung between them as silence filled the room. Junpyo's breath hitched. His heart, a muscle he once thought dead, slammed against his ribs. But he didn't speak. And Zara stood there, waiting for his reaction. Park Sujin paced her small room, her stomach twisting in hunger. The untouched plate of food sat on the ground, mocking her. She stole another glance at it, but the knot in her chest made it impossible to eat. Then the door creaked open. Her head snapped up, and she froze. Standing in front of her was Zara. She looked different. Dressed in a flowing white dress, her face soft and calm, Zara seemed untouched by the nightmare they were trapped in. But Sujin saw beyond the surface. She saw the sadness in her friend's eyes, the weight she carried. Tears burned Sujin's vision, and before she could say a word, Zara ran toward her, pulling her into a tight embrace. Sujin clung to her, holding on as if she would disappear. Behind them, Junpyo stood in the doorway, watching in silence. For a moment, his expression was unreadable. Then, without a word, he turned and shut the door, leaving them alone. Sujin pulled back slightly, her hands gripping Zara's arms. Are you okay? Zara nodded. I'm fine. Sujin's chest ached. I'm so sorry, she whispered. Zara frowned. Sorry for what? For everything, Sujin said, her voice cracking. For your father, for not being able to help, for giving you that terrible news when you were already going through so much. Zara's lips trembled, but she forced a smile. It's okay, she said softly. None of this was your fault. She took a deep breath and tightened her hold on Sujin's hands. I came to tell you, I secured your freedom. Sujin's eyes widened. What? You're leaving, Zara said, her voice gentle but firm. Sujin shook her head, confused. How? What did you do? Her heartbeat picked up. Did Junpyo really agree to let both of us go? Zara hesitated. Then slowly she shook her head. No, she said, just you. Sujin felt like the air had been knocked out of her lungs. What? She whispered. Zara's grip tightened. You have to go, Sujin. But Sujin yanked her hands away. No. Sujin. No, Zara. Sujin's voice rose, her emotions bubbling over. I took the risk for you. I came all the way here for you. Do you even know what I had to do just to get here? Zara's throat tightened. There's no way I'm leaving without you, Sujin continued fiercely. I won't. Zara looked away, but Sujin wasn't finished. Don't worry about me, she said. Junpyo won't keep me forever. I'm a cop, Zara. If he wanted to kill me, he would have done it already. The fact that I'm still breathing means he'll let me go sooner or later. Sujin. I can survive, Sujin cut her off. I've been trained for this. I've fought criminals in the field. I know how to handle myself. She took a step closer and cupped Zara's face in her hands. But you, her voice softened. You're fragile, Zara. You weren't made for this kind of life. You don't belong here. Tears welled in Zara's eyes, but she didn't speak. Sujin swallowed hard, searching her friend's face. Please, she whispered, come with me. Sujin sucked in a sharp breath as her eyes landed on the scars across Zara's back. Her heart clenched painfully. She had failed. She had come all this way to save her, but in the end, she hadn't done a thing to protect her. Tears burned her eyes and she clenched her fists. I should have done more, she whispered, guilt sinking into her bones. I should have stopped this from happening. Unbeknownst to them, Junpyo stood in his room, listening. His body was tense, his jaw clenched. His fists curled at his sides as images flashed through his mind. Sua's whip slashing against Zara's skin, her soft whimpers of pain, the blood staining her delicate back. He had almost forgotten that he had ordered it. He had watched it happen. And now, for the first time, regret settled in his chest like a heavy stone. Back in the room, Zara exhaled and gave Sujin a small, sad smile. Junpyo gave me the chance to leave too, she admitted softly. Sujin's head snapped up. Then why are you still here? Zara hesitated for a moment, then answered. Because I don't want to go. I have fallen in love with Junpyo, Sujin. I can't bear to part from him. Sujin's entire body went stiff. Slowly, she pulled her hands away from Zara's, her eyes narrowing. What the hell are you saying? Zara didn't answer, but Sujin wasn't letting it go. What has he done to you? Sujin demanded, her voice rising. Junpyo is a monster, Zara. Have you forgotten what he did? The casino he took you from was littered with dead bodies. He's a killer, a cold-blooded murderer. Why the hell would you fall in love with a man like that? Zara flinched, but she didn't argue. Sujin exhaled, trying to control her emotions. She had to calm down. After a long moment, she sighed and ran a hand through her hair. I'm sorry, she muttered. I didn't mean to yell. Her eyes softened as she studied Zara. Is this because of what Alex did to you? She asked carefully. At the mention of that name, Zara's entire expression darkened. I don't want to hear anybody's name, she said firmly. The only man in my heart right now is Junpyo. Sujin's eyes widened in disbelief. Kang Mujin hurt me in ways I can never forget, Zara continued. And I'm happy he's finally getting what he deserves, but how can I lie to myself about what I feel? Sujin stared at her, unable to process what she was hearing. Just yesterday, you were ready to do anything to escape, she whispered. And now this. She shook her head, taking a step back. How could you change overnight? Zara blinked. Once. Twice. Sujin's breath hitched. It was a signal. Her mind raced, piecing things together. Zara was trying to tell her something she couldn't say out loud. Still, Sujin shook her head stubbornly. Zara, I can't, her voice cracked. I can't leave you behind. Her lips barely moved as she mouthed the words. Whatever you're planning, it's too risky. But Zara didn't back down. Instead, she pulled Sujin into her arms and whispered into her ear. Trust me. Quick pause. I see how many of you enjoy my stories, but when I notice that most viewers don't subscribe, it honestly breaks my heart. Creating these stories takes so much time, effort, and love, and sometimes it feels like my hard work goes unnoticed. Your subscription may seem small to you, but to me, it is everything. It is the motivation I need to keep going, to keep creating, and to keep sharing more stories with you. If my stories have ever made you feel something, please support me by subscribing. It truly means more than you know. All right, no more interruptions. Let's head right back into the story. As Zara pulled away from their embrace, she looked at Sujin with a soft but determined gaze. Junpyo cares about me, Sujin, she said. I can see it. Sujin shook her head. Zara. No, listen to me. Zara held her hands firmly. Apart from the misunderstanding in the beginning, Junpyo isn't a bad person. Sujin scoffed, crossing her arms. Are you even hearing yourself? Try to see things from his side, Zara insisted. Kang Mujin destroyed his family. He killed his parents right in front of him. Sujin's lips parted slightly. Zara's voice lowered, filled with emotion. Who could bear that? She took a deep breath and met Sujin's eyes. Look at me, Sujin. Imagine if someone was responsible for your father's death. Wouldn't you want revenge? The words hit Sujin like a blow to the chest. She gasped softly, suddenly understanding. But she still shook her head. Zara, revenge is dangerous. You're playing with fire. Zara gave a small, knowing smile. Trust me. Just trust me, Sujin. I promise someday we'll see each other again. Sujin's throat tightened. It might not be so far from now, Zara continued. Maybe when I've learned to be strong enough to stand by Junpyo's side. When I can fight, protect myself, protect him too, then I'll feel safe enough to come back and see you. Sujin stared at her, torn between emotions. Is this really what you want? Zara nodded without hesitation. Then promise me something, Zara said. Sujin hesitated. What is it? Promise me you will never come back here. Sujin's heart sank. What? Zara squeezed her hands. If I ever need to, I'll reach out to you. I swear. But don't ever try to find me. Don't reach out. Don't speak about me to anyone. If someone asks, tell them you couldn't find me. Sujin's eyes filled with tears, her breath unsteady. Tell them, Zara hesitated, then whispered, tell them I'm dead. A tear slipped down Sujin's cheek. Zara. Just trust me, Zara whispered. Please. Sujin swallowed the lump in her throat and nodded. Zara pulled her into a tight hug once again, holding her as if she never wanted to let go. And for a moment, Sujin wished she could freeze time, wished she could take Zara away from Junpyo's world before it swallowed her completely. When they finally pulled apart, Zara wiped Sujin's tears. Have you eaten? She asked. Sujin shook her head. I don't have the appetite. Zara smiled softly. Okay, give me a second. She disappeared outside and returned moments later with Sujin's bag. She placed it in Sujin's hands, along with a clean dress. Put this on, Zara said gently. Sujin took the dress and hesitated. Did you have to do anything to secure my release? No, Zara said. Everything you need is in your bag. Sujin exhaled, nodding. Zara gave her a small, bittersweet smile. I'm going to miss you. Sujin's throat tightened, but she forced herself to smile back. Me too. They hugged once more, one final time. And when Sujin pulled away, she whispered, Goodbye, Zara. As they stepped out of the room, Sujin turned back one last time. She raised her hand in a small wave, her expression filled with a silent plea that Zara ignored. Junpyo, who had come out of his room, didn't react. With a simple nod, he gestured for his men to escort Sujin out. Sujin walked toward the door, but just before stepping through it, she paused. She turned sharply and stared at Junpyo. The hatred in her eyes burned like fire. She blinked once, slow, deliberate, before angrily stomping away. Junpyo exhaled and watched her go. That is one hell of a friend Zara has, he thought. But then, without another word, he turned and headed toward the torture room. Zara followed. The heavy metal door groaned as Junpyo pushed it open. The dim, cold room smelled of sweat and blood. There, in the middle of the room, Kang Mujin sat slumped against the chair, his body covered in wounds, his breath ragged. He was writhing in pain, but still alive. Junpyo stepped forward, his boots clicking against the floor. You've enjoyed yourself, haven't you? Junpyo's voice was smooth but deadly. I was generous. I gave you hours to live, but tonight, he smirked, you won't be spared. Kang Mujin groaned, barely able to lift his head. Junpyo crossed his arms and tilted his head slightly. Oh, and guess what? I'm not the only one who wants you dead. A soft click of heels echoed through the room as Zara stepped forward. She stood tall, unwavering, her eyes locked onto the man who had once held power over her. Junpyo, she said, her voice steady, will you give me the honor of ending him? Junpyo turned his gaze to her, his expression unreadable. You, his brow lifted slightly, are you sure about that? Zara was surprising him by the second. First she had said she was attracted to him, then she said she had fallen in love with him. Although those words did something to him, in the end, he had stormed out of his room without giving her a response and headed straight for Sujin's prison. Zara had immediately run after him, but once she heard he was letting Sujin go, she let go of the topic and focused on her friend. Now, she was trying to confuse him again. Meanwhile, Kang Mujin's eyes widened. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. Can you really do it? Junpyo asked Zara again, his voice quieter now. Zara smiled. Then she turned to face him, lifted herself onto her tiptoes, and pressed her lips against his. The kiss was soft, but filled with an unspoken promise. When she pulled away, she whispered, Your revenge is mine. As long as it serves your purpose, there is nothing I wouldn't do. Junpyo's lips curled into a dark chuckle. Interesting. He glanced back at Kang Mujin, whose face was twisted in shock and confusion. Junpyo smirked. When did this happen? Kang Mujin was clearly trying to understand, but it didn't matter anymore. Turning back to Zara, Junpyo held her gaze for a moment longer. Fine, he said. We'll see about that. As Zara stepped back, Junpyo kept watching her, his mind racing. Whatever game you're playing, Zara, he thought, narrowing his eyes. I will figure it out sooner than you expect. After they left the torture chamber, Junpyo led Zara back to his room. He stood by the door, watching her for a moment before speaking. Get enough rest, he said. The time for Kang Mujin's execution will arrive very soon. Zara's lips curved into a small smile. You already agreed that I would do the honors. Junpyo smirked, shaking his head. She never forgot anything, did she? I did, he admitted. Then, for reasons he couldn't quite explain, he added, "Is there anything you want?" Zara blinked. "I feel like I still need to do something for you," Junpyo continued, crossing his arms. "For putting your life on the line for me." The words felt strange on his tongue. Since when did he care about repaying people like Zara so much? More than that, why was he being so considerate toward her? He knew he was attracted to her, but he wasn't the kind of man who was unnecessarily kind to women. The idea alone made him uncomfortable. Still, he waited for her answer. Zara thought for a moment. What did she want? Finally, she told him that if she could ask for something, she would love to feel the cool evening breeze. Maybe walk by the beach and think about the good times in her life. Junpyo studied her for a long moment before nodding. "I'll fulfill your wish when the time comes." She gave a small nod and walked into his room, doing exactly as he had instructed. Junpyo left soon after. He drove into the city, his mind restless. Before heading back, he made an unexpected stop. He bought a few more clothes for Zara, and then on impulse he picked up a bracelet, a small, simple piece, delicate but strong. By the time he returned, it was late. Entering his room, he found her sleeping. He stood by the door, watching her. She slept a lot. He had noticed that about her. Whenever she wasn't attending to him, she was asleep. Why? At first, he thought she was simply exhausted. But now, watching her peaceful face, he wondered, was she just bored, or was she escaping something else? Junpyo walked to the bed and sat beside her. As if sensing his presence, Zara's eyes fluttered open. She saw him staring at her, and when he smiled, she smiled back. Slowly, he reached out and took her hand, squeezing it gently. "I got something for you," he said. Her eyes lit up, and she immediately sat up. "Turn your back," he instructed. She obeyed, shifting so that her back was facing him. Junpyo reached forward, gently pushing her black curly hair to the side. Then, he lowered her dress slightly, exposing the skin of her back. The moment he saw the scars again, a sharp pang of guilt hit him. His scars. His orders had put them there. He leaned closer, his voice barely above a whisper. "I'm sorry about the scars on your back." Zara rolled her eyes, but didn't turn to face him. She wasn't going to pretend to care about his apologies. Junpyo sighed and pulled out a small bottle of oil. He had bought it specifically for her scars. He poured a small amount into his palm and began rubbing it gently onto her back. His fingers moved carefully, slow, steady, almost hesitant. "It's just a matter of time," he murmured, "and everything will be healed. Even the scars will be gone." Zara nodded softly. "Thank you." For a moment, there was only silence between them. Then she spoke again. "I wanted to ask something." Junpyo raised a brow. "Go ahead." "I haven't seen Sua and Tiang since that night," she said. "I remember falling to the ground, but after that, everything went blank." Junpyo's hands stilled for a brief moment. Then he spoke, his voice even. "Sua's dead." Zara's breath hitched. "And so is Tiang." She turned her head slightly, not fully facing him, but enough for him to see the curiosity in her eyes. "Dead," she whispered. "Your sister is really dead." Junpyo didn't hesitate. "Yes." She swallowed. "Did you kill her?" His eyes remained unreadable. "Yes." Then, without an ounce of remorse, he added, "And I have no regrets." A shiver ran down her spine. "There is no forgiveness for betrayal," Junpyo continued, his voice as cold as ice. "Sua knew the consequences. She was prepared for it." He studied Zara's face carefully. "Are you surprised, disappointed, that I didn't even spare my own family?" For a moment, she said nothing. Then she slowly shook her head. "How could I be disappointed in you?" she murmured. "I'm proud of you." "You didn't get weak," she continued, her voice filled with admiration. "You didn't hold back. If you had, it would have only endangered your life." Junpyo tilted his head slightly, watching her closely. "I'm impressed," Zara admitted. "You punish and deliver justice swiftly. That's how it should be." As she spoke, her mind replayed every cruel moment Sua had put her through. The sharp crack of the whip against her skin. Sua's mocking laugh. The way she had sneered when Zara had declared, "I am Zara Thompson." Sua had laughed at her. She had enjoyed her suffering. Serves her right. The old Zara would have felt a flicker of sympathy, but not this Zara. All those emotions, the ones that made her weak, were gone. Now there was only hate. Hate. And an unyielding thirst for revenge. Only one person. There was only one person left in the world whom she cared about. Sujin. Only Sujin. Everyone else, they meant nothing, especially not those who had hurt her. A hand waved in front of her face, snapping her out of her thoughts. Junpyo raised a brow. What are you thinking about? She exhaled, shaking off the memories. Just remembering the few times I encountered Sua, she said simply. Turns out there were no pleasant memories between us. Junpyo smirked. Then don't think about it too much. Before she could respond, he reached into his pocket and revealed a bracelet. He took her hand, slipped the bracelet around her wrist, and clasped it securely. Keep this on at all times, he instructed. Zara lifted her wrist, staring at the bracelet. It was a gold bracelet, intricately designed. Her instincts flared. Junpyo was up to something. This isn't just a gift, she thought. But she didn't let her suspicion show. She had already made up her mind. She wouldn't reveal her plan, wouldn't let anything slip. No matter what happened, she would never say it out loud. As long as she didn't speak, Junpyo would never find out. Junpyo stepped back and handed her a small stack of neatly folded clothes. I bought these for you, he said, so you can change whenever you want. Zara ran her fingers over the fabric, surprised by the quality. Soft, expensive. Why was he doing this? Before she could ask, his expression turned serious. There's going to be trouble, he said. I have something to take care of. I'm leaving the country for a while. Zara tensed. Do you want to stay behind, he asked, or come with me? Her answer came instantly. Take me with you, she said. I don't want to be left behind. A flicker of approval crossed his face. Okay, he replied. In that case, I'll take you with me. He placed a hand on her shoulder. Get some more rest. A few hours later, Junpyo straightened his cufflinks and glanced at Zara. It's time, he said, his voice calm but carrying an edge of excitement. Get ready. Zara could tell this was important to him. The sharp suit, the polished shoes, the way his men stood straighter when he spoke. She dressed quickly, slipping into one of the red dresses he had given her. Almost all of them were red. She didn't bother to ask why. She tied up her hair and stepped out. The same men from the last execution attempt were present, and 4 more, with the exception of the dead ones, were there as well. The air in the room was humming with silent anticipation. But this time, something had changed. Zara was not thrown into a cage. She was not told to sit on the floor like an animal. Junpyo pulled out the chair beside him and motioned for her to sit. The men exchanged glances. They noticed. They understood. Zara's place in Junpyo's world had shifted. No speech, no grand declaration. Junpyo simply held out his glass, and a man rushed to pour his wine. He drank slowly, savoring the taste, as if he had all the time in the world. The fire was already roaring. The coals glowed, and the scent of burning fuel thickened the air. Kang Mujin sat where he had before, beaten, defeated, but alive. Junpyo gestured, "Move him." The men obeyed without question. They grabbed Kang Mujin, lifting him out of the chair. He struggled, but he was weak, his body barely holding up under the strain. "No, you don't have to do this." His voice was hoarse, desperate. "I'll give you whatever you want." No one responded. They carried him toward the spot, the center of the room, the place where the fire was hottest, and doused his body with petrol. His one good hand was yanked above his head and tied to a pole, stretching him out like an offering. He couldn't move, couldn't run. Junpyo sat back down, took another sip of his wine, and glanced at Zara. "Would you like to do the honors?" A slow smile spread across her lips. "I'd love to." Junpyo poured her a glass. She took a sip, the taste of rich, expensive wine coating her tongue. Then she stood. As she began to walk toward Kang Mujin, his eyes widened. "Please," he gasped, his voice shaking. "You don't have to do this, you." Zara ignored him. She stared at the flame. Beautiful but deadly. Junpyo stepped up behind her, his presence like a shadow against her back. As Zara stared at Kang Mujin, memories crashed over her like waves in a storm. She remembered the cold floor beneath her knees, the way her body had trembled as she was forced to kneel before Yina and Alex. She remembered Yina's smirk, the sharp hit to her head that sent her crashing down. The way she had woken up, tied up like an animal, helpless. But none of that compared to the real pain, the one that burned beneath her skin like an eternal fire. Her father, the man who had raised her, protected her, loved her, gone. Because of them. Because of him. She exhaled sharply, her eyes never leaving Kang Mujin. Turns out you're the first person to pay, and after you the rest will follow, she thought. Kang Mujin's swollen, bruised face twisted into a bitter smile. Blood crusted his lips, but still, he spoke with venom. "You bitch," he spat. "I should never have wasted my time with you. I should have ended it the moment I had the chance." Zara grinned, tilting her head. "Well, unfortunately for you, that chance is gone. Forever." She turned, walking toward the burning fire. The heat licked at her skin, but she welcomed it. Reaching down, she picked up a burning piece of wood. The flames danced wildly, hungry. She turned back to Kang Mujin, watching as his body trembled. Despite the bruises, despite the blood, despite his so-called reputation, he was shaking. Sweat dripped from his forehead, his breathing grew ragged, and then, his lips quivered. "Please," his voice cracked. "Have mercy, mercy, please." Zara didn't blink, didn't flinch. Mercy. Where was mercy when her father was dying? Where was mercy when she was kneeling before Yina like a slave, because he had paid money to buy her like a commodity? Where was mercy when they took everything from her? She stepped forward, lifting the burning wood. But before she could bring it to him, a hand grabbed hers. She turned, startled. "Junpyo." He wrenched the wood from her grip. She stared at him in disbelief. "Why?" she breathed. "You promised me." Junpyo met her gaze, his expression unreadable. "Let me do it," he said firmly. "This is my revenge." "I know," Zara replied, anger rising in her throat. "But I want to help." "Stay behind me," Junpyo ordered. Zara clenched her jaw. This was her right. But still, she stepped back. Junpyo turned his attention back to Kang Mujin. His fingers tightened around the burning wood. "I know," he murmured, almost to himself, "that this is still mercy." He exhaled, shaking his head. "But the sight of you makes me sick, and I don't want to spend another day seeing your face. I just hope this will finally be enough. Enough to feel like I've given my parents the justice they deserve." Kang Mujin lifted his chin, his lips curling in a sneer. "Go to hell," he rasped. Junpyo didn't hesitate. He thrust the fire forward. Kang Mujin screamed. His body convulsed as the flames swallowed him whole. His skin crackled, the air thick with the stench of burning flesh. His voice, once powerful, once commanding, was now nothing but raw, agonized wails. Zara stood beside Junpyo, her chest rising and falling rapidly. It was over, but something inside her still burned. Junpyo turned to her, catching the storm in her eyes. He hesitated. Was she unhappy because Kang Mujin was dead? Or because he had stolen the moment from her? "What is it?" he asked. Zara's lips parted, but for a second she said nothing. Then, finally, "You broke your promise." Junpyo smiled, a small knowing smile. He wouldn't say it out loud. Wouldn't tell her the truth. That he was saving her. Because he knew that if she went through with it, if she became the hand that ended a man's life, it would never leave her. She would never forget the feeling of fire meeting flesh, the sound of screams that would echo in her head forever. No matter what burned inside her now, that moment would always haunt her. And he couldn't let that happen. "Forget about it," Junpyo said finally. "Justice is served." Zara watched in silence as Kang Mujin's screams faded into nothing. His body twisted and convulsed in agony until the fire consumed him completely. His last movement was a desperate, futile roll across the floor, then stillness. The room smelled of burning flesh and smoke. Junpyo took one last glance at the charred corpse, then waved his hand. "Dump him in the river," he ordered, his voice devoid of emotion. The men moved at once, hauling what was left of Kang Mujin away. But Park Sujin was not there to witness it. She sat in her bathtub, submerged in warm water, yet feeling no warmth at all. Her mind was miles away, trapped in the past. She saw it again, the gun in her hand, her finger pulling the trigger, Junpyo flinching as the bullet grazed his hand. She had tried to stop him, tried to save Zara. But then Zara had fallen at Junpyo's feet, begging to be his dog, just to spare Sujin. Sujin squeezed her eyes shut, gripping the edges of the bathtub as nausea threatened to rise. She would never forget that moment. The raw desperation in Zara's voice, the hopelessness in her eyes. Then, Zara fainting. Then, Zara asking her to leave. Sujin had left, but her heart had never stopped screaming. Zara was walking a dangerous path. She wanted revenge, but what did she know? What could she possibly do against a man like Junpyo and survive? And the worst part, Sujin couldn't even contact her. She had no idea what Zara had learned, what she had discovered. Their last conversation had made it clear they couldn't talk. So how was she supposed to help? She exhaled shakily and pressed a hand to her forehead. It wasn't just Zara. The news had sent another wave of rage through her. Alex's wedding. The internet had been flooded with headlines. Alex Brown left at the altar. Fiancé elopes with another man. Stolen billions. Bride runs away after emptying father's company funds. Heroic sister saves family's honor by marrying groom. Sujin's fingers curled into fists. Lies. She knew exactly what had happened. Alex and Yina had orchestrated the entire thing. And now, the world believed the victim was the villain. She wanted to go after them, wanted to rip their carefully built lies apart, piece by piece. But Zara had told her not to. Wait. Stay quiet. Do nothing. Sujin had never been good at patience, but for Zara, she would try. She had decided 3 months. That was all she could give Zara. 3 months to take her revenge, 3 months to come back. If Zara didn't return, Sujin would act. And when she did, Alex and Yina would pay. Even if she had to burn everything down. The sharp chime of the doorbell jolted her out of her thoughts. Her heart pounded. Who could it be? She quickly stepped out of the tub, grabbing a towel and wrapping it around herself. Barefoot, she hurried toward the door, her breath shallow with anticipation. She pressed her eye against the peephole. The moment she saw who was outside, her shoulders sagged with relief. She pulled the door open, still adjusting the towel wrapped around her. The sight of Jiho standing there, his familiar smile in place, made her shoulders relax slightly. Hey Jiho, she said. Sujin. He stepped forward, pulling her into a firm hug before she could react. She stiffened, then quickly pulled away. Hey, we're not that close. He chuckled, running a hand through his dark hair. I got too excited. His grin didn't fade. Can I come in? She sighed but stepped aside. Yeah, you can. Jiho walked in, his sharp eyes scanning the apartment. Sujin noticed how his gaze kept returning to her, like he was searching for something. She frowned. What? Do I have something on my face? He shook his head. No, I was just really worried about you. His voice softened. After your call, I couldn't stop thinking about what could have happened. Knowing how dangerous Lee Junpyo is, he trailed off, his brows furrowing. Sujin leaned against the wall, arms crossed. I told you I could handle it. I was at the office when you called, Jiho continued. Right in the middle of talking to you, our boss snatched my phone. By the time I got it back, I tried calling, but your number wasn't reachable. She exhaled. Yeah, something happened to my phone, all thanks to Junpyo. Jiho clenched his jaw. I knew it, I had a bad feeling. It's fine, Sujin said, shrugging. Honestly, it was a good thing I didn't call for backup. Things might have spiraled out of control. What exactly happened? Jiho asked. It doesn't matter, she replied. Then she let out a small sigh. At least your information was solid. That means I can trust you. His gaze flickered with guilt. He nodded. Yeah, I guess you can. Sujin didn't respond. He had made it easier for her to reach Junpyo, and for that, she was grateful. Jiho shifted. And your friend, did you find her? Was she alive? Sujin's face hardened. No need to talk about that. But I said it doesn't matter. Her voice had an edge now. What matters is that I'm back, alive. That's all that should concern you. He hesitated, then exhaled, nodding slowly. Sujin straightened. Now I'm focusing on my job, no distractions. Jiho watched her in silence, then suddenly reached out, his fingers tilting her chin upward. His touch was gentle, his eyes locking onto hers. I've been thinking about you, he murmured. Since that night, I haven't been able to get you out of my head. Sujin's lips curled into a slow, amused smile. Oh, she mused, is that so? For a moment, neither of them moved. They stared at each other, and then Jiho crashed his lips onto hers, pulling her towel off her body. After watching Kang Mujin's body disappear, Zara turned and walked away. She didn't look back. She made her way to Junpyo's room. Junpyo followed her, his sharp gaze fixed on her back. He expected something, a reaction, a flicker of emotion. But she was quiet, too quiet. Junpyo prided himself on understanding people. He could break them, twist them, strip them down to their very core and know what made them tick. But her, she was an enigma. What was she thinking? Was she disturbed by Kang Mujin's death? Did she regret anything? He hated this uncertainty, hated that he even cared. In the past, he would have used pain to get the answers he wanted. A knife, a whip, a gun to the temple. But now, the thought of hurting her made him sick. The realization burned inside him like a slow fire. He clenched his fists, forcing himself to speak. "Are you okay?" Zara looked at him, her expression calm. "I'm fine." A lie. But he didn't push. Instead, he changed the subject. "We leave early tomorrow." She glanced at him. "We'll be gone for a few days," he continued. "You wanted cool air, right? I'll take you to the beach for a stroll. You'll feel better." She nodded. "Thank you, that's kind of you." He raised a brow. "You're not going to ask where we're going?" She smiled slightly. "I trust your judgment. Wherever it is, I'm sure it'll be good." He studied her for a moment before finally saying, "Busan." Her smile widened. "I've heard about that place." She leaned back, a wistful look crossing her face. "I used to dream that if I ever got married, I'd go there for my honeymoon." She glanced at him, her eyes gleaming with amusement. "Well, I guess I'll just consider this my honeymoon and think of you as my husband." Junpyo scoffed, rolling his eyes. "Ridiculous." But the corner of his lips twitched. He quickly masked it. "It's a long journey," he said, crossing his arms. "Get some rest. We have a lot to do when we get there." Junpyo's private jet was nothing short of luxury. Soft leather seats, a well-stocked bar, silence except for the low hum of the engines. But Zara wasn't in the mood to enjoy any of it. She closed her eyes, blocking everything out. She didn't want to talk, didn't want to engage. Instead, she let her mind drift. She replayed memories of her past, the happy ones. Her father's laugh, the way he used to ruffle her hair, the way he called her princess like she was the most precious thing in the world. She clung to those moments, letting them warm her chest. And then, slowly, she shifted to the future. Her plan. She played it over and over in her mind, perfecting every detail, seeing the moment she would win. And when she finally got her revenge, would she feel at peace? She didn't have an answer. After nearly 22 hours, the jet finally landed. Zara was exhausted. Junpyo, on the other hand, looked as composed as ever, his suit crisp, his eyes alert. Without a word, he led her out of the jet, guiding her toward the waiting cars. But they weren't alone. At least 10 of Junpyo's men had accompanied them, armed, watching, ready. The moment they arrived at the island house, Zara felt the exhaustion settle deep into her bones. Junpyo led her inside, his voice casual yet firm. "The fridge is stocked. Help yourself to whatever you need. There's also a housekeeper who will come around if you need anything." Zara nodded, barely taking in the details of the place. She was too tired to care. "I'll also arrange a tour guide for you," Junpyo continued. "If you want to explore the island while I'm busy, you can." She glanced at him. "You're not going to take me around yourself." He smirked. "I have meetings, business first." She rolled her eyes inwardly. "Of course. In the meantime, eat, sleep if you need to." His tone softened slightly. "You look like you need it." She gave him a small nod. "Thanks." Without another word, she disappeared into the bathroom. Junpyo waited until he heard the sound of running water before stepping onto the balcony. He pulled out his phone and dialed. The line barely rang twice before his brother's voice burst through. "No way," his brother exclaimed. "I didn't think you'd actually show up in Busan before we left." Junpyo smirked. "I knew you were leaving tomorrow. I made sure to come early so we'd get a chance to talk." His brother chuckled. "Damn, you're unpredictable as always." Then his tone shifted. "So, tell me, why does it feel like there's something else? You didn't just rush here to see me." Junpyo exhaled. "For the first time in my life," he admitted, "my heart is beating for a girl." Silence. Then, laughter. His brother's loud, uncontrolled laughter. Junpyo scowled. "It's not funny." "It's hilarious," his brother shot back. "You, feeling something for a girl, you're serious." Junpyo leaned against the railing, rubbing his temple. "Yes, but it's not that simple. She's mysterious, possibly dangerous." His brother's laughter finally died down, replaced by curiosity. "Mysterious and dangerous. Now I'm interested." A voice joined in from the background. "Me too." His brother's wife. Junpyo sighed, of course. His brother's wife never missed a chance to dig into things. Her voice came through the phone again. "I can't even imagine it. Junpyo in love. Please tell me she's not some terrifying assassin." His brother snorted. "If she is, it makes perfect sense." Junpyo ignored them. "How is Inchin?" he asked, changing the subject. His brother chuckled. "Nice try, we'll talk later, but don't think I'm letting this go. I want details." The call ended, and Junpyo slipped the phone back into his pocket. When he returned to the bedroom, He expected to find Zara asleep. And she was. But she wasn't resting peacefully. Her body was tense, her hands clenched into fists. And then she spoke. How could you? How could you betray me, Alex? Junpyo stilled. Her voice was full of pain, anger, hatred. How could you do this to me? I will not spare you. I swear with my life, I will destroy you. Junpyo's brows furrowed. Alex. He had heard the name before. When Zara spoke with her friend back at the mansion, she had mentioned it then too. Now, hearing it again, hearing the raw emotion in her voice, it intrigued him. Who was Alex? What had happened between them? Junpyo leaned against the wall, watching her. She was a mystery. And Lee Junpyo hated not knowing. When she woke up, he would ask. And this time, he would get answers. Junpyo had barely been gone an hour when Zara stirred from sleep. She sat up slowly, hugging her knees to her chest. She felt a sadness so deep, so consuming, that it left her breathless. She didn't know how long she stayed like that, curled up on the bed, lost in thoughts. But then a soft knock came at the door. The housekeeper entered, carrying a warm smile. Good, you're awake, she said gently before turning to leave. A few minutes later, she returned with a tray of food. The aroma filled the air, rich and inviting, but Zara barely glanced at it. I don't really have much of an appetite, she murmured. The housekeeper placed the tray in front of her and gave her a knowing look. You should try it, it's nice. Zara sighed, feeling too tired to argue. Thank you, she said quietly. She picked up the spoon and had a taste. And then a memory hit her. She was sick, feverish, weak. She had been lying in bed, waiting for the family doctor to arrive. At that time, her father had already married Yina's mother. That woman had barely spared her a glance. Even when she had been burning up with fever, trembling under the blankets, that woman never cared. Zara had been hungry, but she hadn't had the strength or the will to eat. Then her father arrived. The moment he heard she was unwell, he had rushed home. She remembered the way he sat beside her, his strong, reassuring presence calming her. He had picked up the plate and fed her himself. Eat, sweetheart, he had said softly. Even though she hadn't wanted to, she had eaten. Because it was him. And it wasn't just that one time. Her father had always been there, always making sure she ate, always watching over her, always treating her like she was the most precious thing in his world. And now he was gone. Tears welled up in her eyes before she could stop them. A sob choked her throat as she whispered, Dad, why did you leave me? The housekeeper froze when she saw the silent tears rolling down Zara's cheeks. She set the tray aside, concern etched on her face. Miss, what's wrong? She asked kindly. Zara quickly wiped at her face. It's nothing, I'm just feeling emotional. The woman didn't believe her. But she didn't press. After a few moments, she turned and left the room. But the moment she stepped out, she pulled out her phone. At that moment, Junpyo sat at a long table for a meeting. Seated around him were men from different criminal organizations across the world. They weren't friends. Far from it. They had been rivals for years, constantly at war over territory, money, and clients. But today, they were here to make a truce. Junpyo leaned back in his chair, his expression unreadable. One of the men, a man with a jagged scar running down his cheek, spoke first. We're all here for the same reason, he said. The fighting needs to stop. There's more to gain if we work together. A man from the Gwangju syndicate scoffed. That's easy to say, but how do we know this isn't a trap? A mafia boss from Daegu leaned forward, smirking. It's simple. We all want the same thing. We just need to figure out how to share it without killing each other. Junpyo remained silent. Then his phone vibrated. Annoyed, he pulled it out, prepared to silence it. But the moment he saw the caller ID, housekeeper, his irritation turned to curiosity. Why would she be calling him now? He exhaled sharply, then stood up. Excuse me. The men at the table glanced at each other as he walked out of the room. Junpyo pressed the phone to his ear. Speak. The housekeeper's voice was hushed but urgent. Sir, it's Miss Zara. His expression hardened. What about her? She hasn't eaten more than a single bite and she's been crying. I tried asking her what was wrong, but she wouldn't say. I just thought you should know. The call ended. And for some reason, Junpyo felt disturbed. He pocketed his phone, his mind spinning. Why was Zara crying? What was making her like this? He strode back into the meeting room, but his focus had already shifted. I have to leave, he announced abruptly, buttoning his suit jacket. The men frowned. What? The man from the Gwangju syndicate growled. You're walking away. Junpyo adjusted his cufflinks. There's an emergency back home. The man from the Gwangju syndicate stood, his face dark. We all have busy schedules, Lee. We agreed to come together because this truce benefits everyone. And now you're leaving. The mafia boss from Daegu scoffed. You think you're above us, don't you? Junpyo smirked coldly. I think you should continue your discussion. Once you've decided, let me know. If I don't like the outcome, I'll deal with it accordingly. The room went silent. Then, the man from the Gwangju syndicate chuckled darkly. You're playing a dangerous game, Lee. I always do. With that, Junpyo turned and walked out. Behind him, the men exchanged looks. And in that moment, they all silently agreed. Lee Junpyo needed to be taught a lesson. The moment Junpyo stepped into the room, his eyes went straight to Zara. She was still sitting on the bed. Her food remained untouched. Her shoulders stiffened when she saw him. Then, she quickly wiped her tears and forced a smile. He didn't like that. What's wrong? He asked, his voice low. Zara's lips curved upward again, but it was shaky. Nothing much, she said lightly. I was just missing you. Junpyo narrowed his eyes. Are you sure about that? He asked, his tone showing his doubt. Crying because you missed me. His gaze bore into hers. You're not making any sense, Zara. She nodded, her voice calm. It's true. After you left, I just felt lonely. Junpyo tilted his head slightly, watching her. She was lying. She was hiding something. But instead of pushing further, he nodded slowly. I see. He turned slightly, his face unreadable. He wouldn't trust whatever she said because he knew without a doubt that she would only lie to him. A single thought echoed in his mind. It's only a matter of time. Sooner or later, he would find out on his own. The silence in the room stretched for minutes. Junpyo sat on the edge of the bed, watching Zara carefully. Then, without a word, he picked up the plate. He held out a spoonful of food. Eat. Zara hesitated, shaking her head. I meant what I said. I really don't have much of an appetite. Junpyo didn't budge. I'm not asking, Zara. Just eat a little. You're going to break down if you keep this up. She sighed, looking away. He exhaled. You know, I left an important meeting for you. I don't do things like this. I don't sit by anyone's bedside and care for them, but here I am. She looked at him, eyes soft. Thank you. His jaw clenched. I don't want your thanks, Zara. I want your honesty. His gaze locked onto hers. Are you still hurt by Kang Mujin's death? She frowned. No. Were you in love with him? She stiffened at the question. Then, without hesitation, she swore on her life. I despised that man, Junpyo, with a passion, and now that he's dead, she let out a small, bitter chuckle. I'm one of the happiest. Junpyo studied her face carefully. No lie. He nodded. Okay. He paused for a while. Then tell me, is there someone else? His voice was quieter now. Someone somewhere that your heart still beats for. For a moment, he thought he saw something flicker in her eyes. Then she nodded. Junpyo's grip on the spoon tightened slightly. He knew it. Alex. It had to be him. Who is it? He asked. Zara's lips curved slightly. She looked him straight in the eyes and said, Lee Junpyo. The spoon in his hand stilled. He scoffed. Come on, Zara. He got up. Do you expect me to believe this same crap? She said nothing, just watching him. Junpyo ran a hand through his hair. Think about how we met. Think about everything you've been through. You keep saying you love me, but how can I believe it? She let out a small sigh. I know you don't believe me. Her voice was soft. But this is exactly what my heart feels. I don't know what I need to do to convince you, Junpyo, but I'm not lying. Junpyo stared at her for a long moment. His eyes flickered to the plate of food. Fine, he said slowly. Prove it to me. She raised a brow. How? He smirked. Eat. She looked at the plate in front of her. He waited, watching. For a moment, he thought she would refuse. But then, she picked up the spoon. And she ate. Junpyo leaned back, watching her carefully, intrigued. Interesting. If she was willing to go this far just to convince him, then she definitely had something up her sleeve. He smiled as she finished the meal. When she was done, he picked up his phone and called the housekeeper. Come take the plate. After the housekeeper left, Junpyo leaned against the wall, crossing his arms. Get ready, he said. We're going out tonight. She raised a brow. Where? There's a party at the beach, lots of celebrations. He glanced at her. One of my brothers is coming with his wife. Zara nodded. You already mentioned that before. He tilted his head. Are you looking forward to it? A slow smile crossed her lips. Of course. Junpyo nodded and left the house again, his mind already shifting back to business. The moment he stepped outside, his phone buzzed. He answered without hesitation. One of his underlings spoke quickly. Boss, we've got a problem. The other 3 gangs are planning an attack. Junpyo's jaw clenched. His free hand curled into a fist. Stay alert, he ordered. We need to be prepared. The underling hesitated. Boss, why didn't you just wait for the meeting to conclude? You knew this was coming. Junpyo smirked. I got bored. But, yeah, the meeting was important, he admitted. But listening to those fools argue over territory, it was a waste of my time. I was going to walk out anyway. If it had truly mattered, I would have stayed. The underling didn't question him again. I'll inform the others to keep their eyes on the ground. Good, Junpyo muttered before hanging up. For a brief moment, he considered calling his brothers. Then he smirked. No need, he could handle it. Just as he was pushing the thought away, his phone rang again. His brother. Junpyo sighed and answered. I heard, his brother's voice came through. They're planning to hit you. Oh, just forget about it, Junpyo replied. It's nothing I can't handle. His brother didn't sound convinced. Why didn't you tell me? It's unnecessary. I can take care of it. His brother scoffed. You say that now, but I'll still inform our brothers. If anything happens, we won't hesitate to swoop in. Junpyo smiled. Whatever makes you sleep at night. There was a pause, then his brother chuckled. By the way, my wife is eager to meet the woman who finally captured your heart. Junpyo's smile was slow. Captured my heart. Tell my sister-in-law not to get too impressed yet. That woman may turn out to be more of an enemy than a friend. I guess I'll find out what that means when we meet, his brother replied. When evening came, Zara got ready. She forced a smile onto her face as she stepped out of the room. She knew if she kept looking melancholic, Junpyo would figure it out, and she didn't want him thinking she was mourning Kang Mujin. So she dressed to distract him. A body-hugging white dress. Makeup that made her eyes shine. Hair styled to attract. The moment Junpyo saw her, he froze. For a while, he just stared. Zara walked closer, the corners of her lips lifting. Do you like what you see? Junpyo exhaled, his voice lower than usual. Yes, I'm just surprised you put this much effort into getting ready. It's just a walk on the beach. She tilted her head slightly, her eyes holding a mischievous glint. I'm going with you, she said softly. That makes it special. She stepped even closer, her voice barely above a whisper. Even if there were 1,000,000 people there, I would only have eyes for you. Junpyo smirked. What a sweet little liar. Let's go, he said, leading her outside. By the time they reached the beach, the sky was dark, lit only by the glow of fire pits and the dim lights strung along the shoreline. Junpyo's 10 underlings blended into the crowd, keeping their distance but staying alert. Meanwhile, Junpyo and Zara walked by the water, their hands intertwined. She was the one who reached for him first, gripping his hand tightly. He glanced at her, surprised. She smiled up at him, and without thinking, he smiled back. For a brief moment, he almost believed it. Almost. But Zara's attention soon drifted. She saw other couples, some kissing, some laughing, some dancing by the bonfire. She turned her gaze away from them, choosing instead to focus on the waves. The sound of the water was soothing. But then her world stopped. Her heart slammed against her ribs. Because standing just a few feet away was Alex. With Yina. His arm wrapped possessively around her waist. Their eyes locked, their smiles soft, as if they were the most in-love couple in the world. Zara froze. Her pulse pounded. Her breathing turned shallow. No, it couldn't be. Her fingers clenched around Junpyo's hand. So tightly that her nails dug into his flesh. Junpyo turned to look at her, his brows pulling together slightly. Zara. She didn't hear him. Her entire focus was on the man who had betrayed her. The man she had once loved. The man who had destroyed her world and left her to rot. Junpyo followed her gaze. His eyes landed on Alex. Then he looked back at Zara. Then back at Alex. His jaw tightened. Who the hell is that man?
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, like, share and comment below.